Hello and welcome to another Centipede Press unboxing. I know, just did 3, then I just did a 4th one yesterday, and now I'm doing another one because they just keep coming in. Although this is the last Centipede one for a little bit. Shouldn't be any other titles coming out. Like all Centipede titles, you gotta check under the label because Jared likes to recycle stuff, and sometimes you get a little, as I hit my camera. You take a shot if you're doing the drinking game at home with me hitting my camera stand. Jared likes to include little goodies every now and then. He recycles stuff. And so sometimes you get a little insight to what he's reading because he'll recycle the paper that he's scanned stories onto, and he'll use that for the shipping labels. Anyways, this, my friends, is Dying Inside by Robert Silverberg. Now, if you've been watching my Centipede Press Centipede Press unboxings, you know that I like to match my number 68. I don't have 68 for this because this is the second Silverberg title done by Centipede Press, the first being the Book of Skulls several years back, and I purchased, can't show you that. If you were just looking at the screen the last 20 seconds, avert your eyes. Book of Skulls was before I was matching numbers, so my Book of Skulls is $279. Scandalous, I know. So, this was actually the same price point as the Book of Skulls, but Book of Skulls was 7 years back, and this one is better produced, apparently. So, we have our cover artwork. Let me just put my thumb right there, by, not Jim Burns. Jim Burns, this is Joe Wilson. Joe Wilson's artwork. Jim Burns did the classic artwork of a 1980 paperback edition. And we've got our blind stamping in the cover. I don't know if it's coming up on the camera there. Very nice. Our traditional silver stamping on the spine. Looks like a lot of many other Centipede titles once they're naked. We have no top edge stain for this one. It's a larger sized format. I just did an unboxing for Machine and Ward 11. So you have the traditional trim size, then the oversized trim size. Then you get the crazy old Dune trim size, which I don't have that one here for comparison. Very nice gray end papers. There's a little texture to them. So we've got, hit the camera again. We have Joe Wilson's wraparound cover artwork. Can't show you that in detail. We have the frontispiece. This is the frontispiece by Jim Burns. It is. Yep, Jim Burns of New York. Got the Twin Towers there. So I've not read Dying Inside. Big surprise there. But I like me some Robert Silverberg, and I've heard this is his magnum opus, so I am very excited by that. The cover, interior artwork is also by Joe Wilson, so we have some Joe Wilson artwork inside. Deals with a man who has telepathy. He can read minds. Now, you'd think he can use that to better himself. Instead, he uses that to forge papers. He writes papers for college students, and he's able to kind of read their minds to get a sense. There's a science fiction masterwork. Very cool. So he reads their minds to get a view of them as a person. And I know that there are instances within this novel. Is this supposed to resemble like a skull? Because I'm kind of getting a skull image here. Anyways, he, jumps inside the mind of his lover during climax. He jumps inside the mind of someone on an acid trip. There's a lot of literary allusions in this from what I've read online. And it very much delves inward as to what... It's double-sided. That's cool. Into what it means to be human, especially once his powers start to vanish. And he starts kind of thinking, what is he without his powers? Very interesting sounding read. It almost, even though the plot itself has nothing to do with it, the whole introspection that he's going through kind of reminds me, from the sounds of it, like Replay, the Grimwood novel that Suntup did. That one was a man stuck in a time loop, learning what it is to be human and mortality. And this deals with a man with telekinetic abilities, ability to read minds, and what it means to be human what it means to be yourself once you start losing those powers. It does feature looks like a lengthy interview here between Silverberg and Darrell Schweitzer back in 1974. This novel just celebrated its 50th anniversary last year. So, 2 interviews with Darrell Schweitzer. Very interesting. This is signed by, it's signed by Silverberg and Schweitzer. There's our signature page right there. This is 279 to match the Book of Skulls. It has a facsimile by Joe Wilson. I'm kind of surprised that's a facsimile by Joe Wilson because it's like, he's a rather young artist. But he is overseas, I think. I think he's in the UK. So maybe that's why it wasn't feasible to get the signature sheets over to him. Facsimile by Jim Burns there. That's just a hair of mine on the page. If you want a real Jim Burns signature, you can check out, speaking of Suntup, 1984, Jim Burns illustrations for that. Very good. So we have Silverberg's signature, Joe Wilson's facsimile, Jim Burns' facsimile, and Darrell Schweitzer's signature. And we have the same little brain image that's on the reverse page as well. Very, very nice. Surprisingly, copies of this are still available. Now, here's the thing about Centipede Press. Their titles usually aren't available for that long. They usually sell out pretty quickly, especially when you're dealing with a master of science fiction such as Robert Silverberg. And the crazy thing is, I keep forgetting about the nudity on the cover here. The crazy thing is, I thought I had heard that Silverberg was reducing the number of signatures he was doing. I mean, the man is pushing 90 years old, so I thought that he wasn't signing as much. He didn't sign the Harlan Ellison Unquiet Dreamer tribute, although some people think that was just his way of giving one final knock at Ellison for their relationship. But he did sign some copies of a omnibus that Subterranean Press just did, and then he signed copies of this. And I heard it from a bird, little birdie, that Jared is doing 2 other Silverson titles, so hopefully he'll be signing those as well. So copies of this are still available. Book of Skulls is sold out, so you have to go to the secondary market if you want to find that. But Jared at Centipede Press does some of the best science fiction special editions out there. Him and Subterranean Press really show some great love for science fiction. I mean, they show love for other genres as well, but the love and care that Jared has put into the Silverberg titles, that he's put into the Dune titles by Frank Herbert, and he's also doing some Philip K. Dick titles as well. It just shows his love for the craft. So if you find yourself a copy of Book of Skulls on the secondary market, pick up a copy of Dying Inside directly from him, and be sure to subscribe for his newsletter so you can get the first crack at future titles, Silverberg or otherwise. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing, and we'll see you around next time.